Fin 2006, Van Halen annonce une tournée événement à travers l'Amérique du Nord, marquant le grand retour de David Lee Roth, chanteur emblématique du line-up originel. Dans le même temps, on apprend que le jeune Wolfgang Van Halen, alors âgé de 16 ans, remplacera Michael Anthony à la basse, une nouvelle qui laisse de nombreux fans dubitatifs. Le monde découvre alors le fils d'Eddie Van Halen embarqué dans une tournée de 75 dates avant que le groupe ne rentre en studio pour enregistrer ce qui sera leur ultime album, A Different Kind of Truth, en 2012. Cette première réunion avec David Lee Roth est suivie de 2 autres tournées, rapportant au total près de 175 millions de dollars avant que le groupe ne se mette en stand-by, mais l'espoir d'une suite à cette reformation historique s'éteint définitivement le 6 octobre 2020 avec la disparition d'Eddie Van Halen. C'est donc sous les projecteurs et avec le poids d'un héritage colossal que Wolfgang grandit. Mais très tôt, le Californien nourrit une autre ambition, tracer sa propre route et s'affranchir de l'étiquette qu'on lui colle depuis toujours. En pleine pandémie, il lance son projet Mammoth WVH, dans lequel il compose, enregistre et joue tous les instruments. Ces 2 premiers albums, unanimement salués par la critique, sortent respectivement en 2021 et 2023, et après quelques apparitions très remarquées, notamment lors du concert hommage à Taylor Hawkins en 2022 où il reprend magistralement Top Jimmy et Hot for Teacher, Wolfgang n'a évidemment plus rien à prouver à qui que ce soit, et notamment à ceux qu'il voyait uniquement comme un fils d'eux. De passage à Paris en septembre dernier et à l'occasion de la sortie de son excellent 3e album intitulé The End, j'ai eu la chance de m'entretenir avec Wolfgang Van Halen pour une interview exclusive guitare en main, l'occasion d'échanger autour de son récent clip événement réalisé par Robert Rodriguez, dont le compteur affiche plus de 5 millions de vues sur YouTube, et surtout de découvrir un artiste aussi sensible que talentueux. Bon visionnage.
Yeah, we played Highway to Hell, and I panicked really quick because I had never learned the solo, so I had to learn it really quick because Slash said you should do the solo, and I was like, but you're Slash. And I figured it out, and we did it. It was a really good time. That was one of the best shows of that tour. You know, and when I heard that Sharon and Ozzy requested me to play Crazy Train, I started freaking out and was like, well, you can't say no to that. And we rehearsed for a few days just to make sure it was right. And being able to play with Chad and Robert and especially more than anything Maynard. Maynard is one of my favorite singers of all time. So being able to one, meet him and then also to perform with him was an insane thing. It felt like a dream. After the gig, I got to go and sit with Ozzy for about 10 minutes and talk with him, and he gave me a hug, and he said, I was like, was that good enough? He was like, it was bloody wonderful. And he was really happy with it. And but my favorite part is I got to ask him questions about like stories that my dad had told me when they were touring back in the day, and I got him laughing a little bit, which was really fun. Another day in perfect harmony. I think it's up to the listener's interpretation on what the end can mean for them. I'm a very anxious person, so I think I pour my anxieties and stuff into my own music, and it's a therapeutic thing, a therapeutic release for me. So I think I was really in that sort of headspace, and I realized that I was kind of writing about all this stuff that was very negative and very, things ending and stuff. So it just felt like the overarching theme of the record, and it felt like the right title. It felt like the right time. It felt different enough from the last 2 albums to not be a numbered album and to be our first titled album. Robert and I met a few years back, and we exchanged numbers and hit it off. And anytime I was in his town or he was in mine, we would visit each other and talk. And it was always in the back of my mind that it'd be fun to have him do a video if he was ever interested. And From Dusk Till Dawn is one of my favorite movies of his. And when The End was done and it seemed like it was going to be the first single and everything, I sent it over to him. And I told him my idea, and I asked him if he would be interested, and he was really excited. He ended up writing this script out, and he called Danny Trejo and Greg Nicotero, and We did that shoot in 2 days, 12 hours each day, and it was a whirlwind, but it was a lot of work, but it was so much fun. I can't believe we actually pulled it off. I guess you can't go wrong with something like The Shining. I'll have to throw From Dusk Till Dawn in there just because it's almost more than a horror movie. It's so many different kinds of movies all in one, but I think that... and I also really enjoyed the It remakes. I thought those were really good. That first one is really fun. I remember seeing that in the theaters with my dad, and we had a really good time watching that. So, yeah. So I guess those three for sure are some of my favorites off the top of my head. I also love playing like horror video games too, like Resident Evil and stuff like that. My wife and I will play through all those and be scared, and it's the best. I take tapping from two different perspectives, or I guess maybe three, so to speak. But there's the eruption style tapping, which is very much kind of creating the nut with your left hand and kind of moving it around, so you just kind of. And then there are the hot for teacher type of tapping, where it's sort of more of a rolling rhythmic thing. So you're involving the open string, so you're going. And this one is definitely much more of a hot for teacher style tap, I guess, because it involves that rhythmic sort of rolling. So you're going to be on the 10, 12, and 16, and you're going to be rolling like this. Then after that, there's this, I had this bass slap idea that I was showing my producer, Elvis Basquet. I didn't have a bass on me, but I had a guitar, and I was like, it goes like this. And he goes, you should do that in guitar. That sounds cool. So that's why it's in that break right before the verse. And it's a funny thing because a lot of people, when they hear it, obviously because my dad is who he is, the first thing people thought was like, oh, it's like Mean Street. And it's nothing like Mean Street. It's really just a bass slap part. Mean Street is this sort of tapping. Here, I'll just play the part first, which goes like this. Live as it could be, yeah. I think because we were set up at the studio earlier, rather than making the demos on my computer, we were able to. I was able to like select a tempo and just play a riff, and then run out there and then play drums to it, and then run back and play bass to that, and then play more guitar. So it was a lot more of a creatively nourishing environment, so to speak, where instead of being locked to the computer and writing something for 3 hours and not feeling very inspired, it was really inspiring to be able to quickly be like, ooh, this would be cool. Let me go do that really fast, and then run out and figure that out. So I think there are a lot of things on this record that wouldn't have existed on prior albums because of that process. Yeah, I think more than anything, it's the fact that I started as a drummer that kind of influences the way I play everything. Because rhythm, I just think rhythm first, and so yeah, I really, from that perspective, I think that's why I have fun coming up with rhythmic parts, and that's just the way I happen to tackle everything is through the rhythm and how it is. Another day in perfect harmony. I think it was all part of that challenge of the first record to see if I could play everything. I was very inspired by that first Foo Fighters album where Dave Grohl did everything. And I figured since I was playing everything, I might as well try singing. And with the few demos I had where I had these vocal melody ideas and lyrics, I showed my producer, Elvis. And even when I was unsure of if I could sing, he was the one who kind of gave me that confidence. So I guess it's his fault that I'm the singer. Another day in perfect harmony. It's definitely the instrument I try to take care of the most. I try not to talk too much or definitely not yell at all when I'm on tour, because I want to make sure my stuff is nice and protected. Try to get rest and everything, but being the singer of the band, you definitely feel like you're like the pregnant woman of the group. You wanna make sure you stay as safe as possible from all the outer dangers and stuff. So, but I'm happy to do it. It's my job, and I'm very lucky I get to do what I do. So. There's about 3 or 4, and really it was the brainchild between me, Matt Bruck. He founded EVH with my dad, and he still runs it with me today. And Chip Ellis, the master builder at Fender. So between the 3 of us, this was just kind of born out of the necessity of Mammoth and the sound that we were trying to do. It was very semi-hollow, but it's a very high performance semi-hollow. So, the fact that I'm able to play stuff like that on a semi-hollow is it's very versatile, basically. Between the genius of both Matt and Chip and me going, hey, this would be cool, you guys, right? we figured this out, and this is my perfect instrument. I'm very, very happy with it, and very happy that people are able to pick one up themselves. But yeah, for me, ever since we developed these, I haven't played anything else, and it's just because I love it, and it's just it's everything I needed. So these pickups were developed by Tim Shaw, and they are a slightly hotter wind than say a classic semi-hollow. So we developed 3 different types and chose them from there. We had one wound at an 8.2, one at a 10.2, and one at a 12.2, and we found that the Goldilocks zone was right there in the middle, where it doesn't feed back too much, but it also has the heft where you're able to get what you need out of it. I definitely do when recording, but in a live situation, it's just easier to sort of, when I'm singing, and let the other guys take care of the verses. Do that really quick. It's sort of the Tom Morello aspect, sort of kill switch thing,
Take your time and tell me.
I have a bunch of Wolfgangs at home, but when it comes to the sound of Mammoth, it's very much that semi-hollow sort of thing. So that's why.
Another day in perfect harmony.
Yeah, sure. Let's see if I can get the tuning right, because it's going to be a little low. So the whole guitar is tuned to standard, except the E is. Tuned to A, so it's very low. It's a very groovy, metal-y thing. The joke title for the song was Sludgehammer. It's all right here on the open 1, 3. Like I said, coming from being a drummer, there's that very much the percussive aspect of that, making sure you're all together. That is the riff for I Really Wanna. It's cool, I guess. I think it's cooler when you are able to develop your own sort of style. I think it's one thing to be obsessed with something and try to recreate it, but I think at the end of the day, it's really important to have your own voice. I think you can use elements of stuff like that, but yeah, that stuff's really impressive for sure. I don't think particularly. I think I've been influenced by players who have been influenced specifically. I know Dad would show me Cream all the time when I was growing up, so I'm sure to a certain extent that was a part of that for sure. Yeah, or like yeah, definitely. It was just really a copyright thing. It was, we wanted to be this from the beginning, but now that we own the copyright, we're able to do that. It's kind of like how Ghost was Ghost BC, and then after a few years, they were able to secure that right and be called Ghost. So it's really simple as that.
Another day in perfect harmony.
I mean, I'm always out of my comfort zone, so I really don't know what that would be. Just being in a room with people is enough to be out of my comfort zone. But I'd have to think. I know he always says that he wants me to do like a metal album, like a progressive metal album or something. But so maybe something like that, something that's completely different from Mammoth, would be pretty cool. Either something to do with cats or with cancer research, or both. If I could, do something with both, that'd be pretty cool.